Welcome to Mindshifters Radio. Today is Wednesday, February the 18th, 2026. Glad you're with us. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, dear heart. And welcome, Miss Susan. How are you today, young lady? Looks like we got a private conversation going here.
Yay. Oh, it's right. Let's just say. Oh
You
my,
mean life is still giving you opportunities to learn forgiveness?
what
How
the heck?
shocking.
Do you know what I just discovered? I'll go through it tonight, but the Oedipal complex, where it became really clear around, and I got a short video to show tonight, but how parents end up being the emotional, or children end up being the emotional partners for parents who are not
Hmm. Oh, yeah, that's a.
emotionally developed. And came across this. By the way, do you remember when we were on the call? I think it was on the codependency, and you guys talked about the Mayan calendar and that website. Okay,
Yes, that's
you
good
can't you
stuff.
can't make this up. So you really can't. So I go and I did training with Dr. Coleman 5 years ago, all about the Mayan calendar. So I probably did two trainings with him. So that's I've got the calendar and all that stuff. So I go on the website and that Crispy Matters, and I look at just like you guys. I know the soul. I know him. So I reached out to him, and he was my brother in another life. And so, anyways, we connected yesterday, and yeah, it's like a homecoming party. So, but yeah, he's deep, and he does a Mayan calendar astrology chart, which is out of this world. That's what we did yesterday, and so I've got lots of homework that goes along with it, and just deep processing stuff that's lifetimes old. And I swear, if you've watched the movie The Matrix, and they have the Oracle in the Matrix, he's the Oracle. He's
Oh,
like,
really?
I'm like, oh my God, here you are. And of course we both have the recognition, and we talked about different experience of lifetimes that's happening right now. He lives in Japan, but an amazing soul, one of the soul tribe, one of our soul tribe. Like, yeah, just a beautiful. And we used to live in Vancouver in British Columbia. But yeah, it was a beautiful homecoming yesterday. And I'm right in the midst of all my continuing healing as well. I'm just breathing. That's all I got right now. To
That's
breathe, breathe and trust
the
the
big key.
process. Yeah, that's so it seems really deep stuff, and I just keep telling myself, are we ever going to get on the other side? That's what I'm wondering. It seems like
Well,
is it ever going to be clean? That's what I want to know.
well, first of all, I think you have to define what you're cleaning.
Clean
So
meaning
if
I
you're
don't have
cleaning,
any. I've cried
if,
bathtubs
if,
of tears.
if
Bathtubs
you're
of tears.
cleaning, if you're cleaning a genetic history,
Hmm.
and you just go back 30 generations, you're talking about the drama and trauma and unresolved issues of 1.6 billion lives.
Yeah.
So it might take a little while.
I just look forward when the human meat suit and all the energies with this human, the carbon-based memory, like it's just lifted and we just get to be light.
Well,
That's what,
and
yeah.
notice that in just what, 8 months,
Hmm.
how much more light is there?
Yeah, that's true.
It's a process.
Yeah.
And for
Yes, sir. I
me,
keep
I
saying that.
recognize that I've done the most important work that I've done in my own personal process has been in the last year.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't have somebody who handed me the tools, had them developed and all. It was a developmental process, but each step along the way, each worksheet developed was done in blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I'm so
it's
grateful
just,
for you for the tools. So without the tools, I don't, and even with what's happening with energy yesterday being the shift over energetically to the fire horse. And I mean, there's been a work up to it energetically, but the whole field is changing. And if people don't have the tools, because it almost feels a bit like a pressure cooker, or you're having pressure on all sides and it has to come out. There's no way through, no way out but through it. So if people don't have the tools, I can't imagine. I bet you there's an increase in abuse. I bet you there's an increase in alcoholism and all the vices that humans have. Yeah.
all of the anesthetics
Hmm.
and those who are lost in the world of the anesthetics perpetuate the world of anesthetics because then it becomes a big money operation.
Yeah.
There's a big complaint going on right now. I don't know about in Canada, but here in the States, where uh, the alcohol industry
Mm-hmm.
is having trouble because I forget exactly the numbers, but in the last 2 years, 3 years, alcohol use has dropped by, I think, 25. I think the number was 25%.
Wow.
People are waking up and saying, well, I'm not doing alcohol,
Yeah.
to the point where, distilleries are going out of business and such, and they're like scrambling, oh my God, what are we going to do? It's like, well, how about if we just eliminate your product?
Yeah.
How about if we just take the destruction that your product rots in people's minds
Yeah.
and bodies, and let's get rid of it. But it's a big money business, and it's got all kinds of seductive advertising. And
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch a video I sent about the predictive programming, the one where they had coffee in all the movies, like the Starbucks coffee? And I think I sent you two movies. One of them I think
oh,
was an hour all
I did
about that.
I didn't see that, but if you'd resend the
I
link.
would have sent it. I sent it probably last week. I sent you two, I believe, two movies to watch. Let me
I
just
did
see.
watch the one on the fellow that was surveying the mounds. It's interesting.
Okay, there is a full story. Oh, that was a monad one, The Path of the Souls. Okay, oh, maybe I didn't send you that one. Okay, I'll make sure I send you, I'll send you, yeah, about the predictive, I gotta find it, the predictive programming, and
Oh,
and how it's all embedded in the movies, and the one he tracked,
oh yeah.
where the Starbucks, every scene, and yeah, he picked this one particular movie, but it's everywhere.
Cigarettes, alcohol, they've all done that.
Exactly. Yeah, they're all in coffee, drinking coffee constantly.
Yeah,
And of course, the
like it's
Starbucks owners
normal.
connected to Bill Gates and the gang. So, hmm yeah,
And it's a way that people survive. I mean, to destroy themselves with it, but it is an adaptive mechanism that at least, in some cases at least, makes them somewhat functional.
yeah,
And I used to be in the restaurant business. I used to drink a pot of coffee a day.
yeah.
Didn't think anything of it. And then when I studied medicine, I went, oh my God, what are we doing to ourselves? And
hmm
and then you look at also these energy drinks. Oh my God, that's just like the next level of self-destruction. And kids are
I
living on
know.
it, and using it so they can drink more alcohol.
Yeah, I know
It makes them
Alexander
so
was
hyper they
doing
can handle.
those. Alexander was doing those energy drinks, I think, I said Alexander, and even he doesn't do coffee, but he does do alcohol. And I sent him that email that you wrote, or not email, your, I don't know where you wrote
Article.
it all about the alcohol, yeah. But yeah, I'm still having resistance because his dad's lineage, the entire is all alcohol based, or Scottish
Oh,
after all. Yeah,
support him in letting go of the underlying trauma,
yeah, exactly.
and
Yeah,
let him know it's an anesthetic, and that before he puts it to his lips, he might want to just take a breath and see what's going on inside of him.
yeah.
I don't know if I've shared with you, but years ago in South Florida, there was a woman who her husband was Joe businessman, and she was Mrs. Housewife with a couple of kids at home. And every night, this was a 7 night a week deal. She would have dinner ready. He'd get home late, like 8, 9 o'clock at night. They'd have a couple of drinks before dinner. They'd have a bottle of wine with dinner and a couple of drinks after dinner. That was for
Yeah.
years, had been their standard routine. She wasn't an alcoholic, but so she said. But when she started doing this work, she decided to stop doing alcohol. And in a session, it was about 5 years later, she hadn't touched alcohol in about 5 years. And she went to a party and somebody offered her a drink of hard liquor, and she took it. She accepted it. And what she said was that the liquid no more than got past her lips. She hadn't even swallowed it. And she said it felt like razor blades in my kidneys. She could
Mm,
feel that just the impact of the energy coming back into her structure. My take being that she'd worked through a lot of what she was anesthetizing with the alcohol, so was sensitive enough to know exactly what it was doing to her body. And
and yeah,
she didn't
and
swallow it. She just got rid
she
of it.
got and here I have a First Nations medicine woman who's amazing in my community, and when she was being trained, her teacher took her to the bar, and of course they called alcohol a spirit, and they would just sit there and watch people. He would have her with him watching people, what happens as they start, and then what happens, and watch her to track what the spirit does, and that how it takes over. Yeah, it is quite a what it does to the body, what it does to the mind, what it does to judgment, all those things. Yeah, and
And
then
behavior.
yeah, and then being programmed, like Duncan, for example, stating that, oh yeah, we're Scottish, and we know how to handle it. We were raised with alcohol, and it's in, we can process it, and they convince themselves, right? Yeah, I would like that one to be gone in the world. That's not, that our minds were clean enough. It's not even an that is, I want to just word that the minds are clean enough to go inwards to do the process work rather than looking for anesthesia, to numb, to have the presence of mind to face all the non-being mind energy. Yeah.
I'm looking, and there's a Arabic word al-kul, and some say, and I've seen other stuff that says it's just a myth, but that the word actually means evil spirit.
Yeah.
I'm just looking right now, and that's why I'm slowed down here,
Yeah, no
but I'm
worries.
not finding it.
I think I remember actually something like that too. Uh,
Yeah, I just put it in AI, and it doesn't come up with anything like that. Anyway, it's definitely one that we need to wake up on in the
yeah.
culture, restore people to their human lives.
Yeah.
Miss Jeannie, I don't know if you shared your news with Susan. I know that you have
Yeah, the
with
book
Kathy, but
is in
Yeah.
print.
Oh, yay. I wasn't on the
Yeah.
call yesterday. Alexander called me right at the time. I was all scheduled because hung up from Andrea. And then Alexander called. I wanted to, oh, another orb just went by. Your book's in
They've
print.
been flying all morning. It's like, I don't know.
That's amazing. Oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Oh my God, how exciting. It's actually gonna be live going in print. Wow. How does that feel? Like, tell me what that feels like on the inside.
Ah, it's kind of a mix between, okay, I can't take it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's out there now.
Yeah.
And then excitement that it's out there now.
Okay.
And so I'm creating a email to go out
Okay.
to everybody and let them know
Beautiful.
where they will be able to get it. And of course, ordering directly from me, like you've done.
Yes.
I get more commission that way, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And how does it work to you when you is this is considered self-publishing is what you're doing,
Yes.
or okay.
Yeah. Even though Book Baby is the actual, I guess, the one that's printing it and putting it out there, they'll put it on Amazon and Kindle and
Okay.
Barnes and Noble and Books a Million and all those places. And um, so they're putting it out there and they've been very, I mean, even though it's been a little bit, brings up frustration because it's like, oh, you need to change this. Even
Yeah.
this morning they said, your barcode's not readable. And so they gave me the option of just leaving a blank on the back of the book and they'll put the barcode in.
Okay.
And so evidently when I squished it to fit the space, I made it not readable.
Got it.
So just little things like that, but I'm glad that they're on it instead of
Hmm.
just printing it out.
Yes. Good. And yeah, it must feel, and that so like you said, the whole story, your family's not aware of everything, right? They know some pieces of it.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, look at the
Yeah.
orbs. Yeah, right around. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had to text my brothers when they were like, congratulations and all that. And I said, just a heads up. I said, some of the things in it, between my age of 16 and 19, nobody had heard of it. I told mom in 2016, 2017, and she read part of book. She read one chapter. I said, I want to make sure I have the timelines right, because I was talking about her and dad and where they met, and,
Yeah.
some of the emotions that, she may have had, or that, because dad had to go into the army right after my brother, actually before my brother was born.
Okay.
And so it was like, I want you to make sure that the timelines are right. Well, in that chapter, I also mentioned that even though we were a quote unquote loving family, I still felt inferior, and not loved as much and all that. And when she read it, she said, yeah, you've got the timelines right, but I can't do anything about you feeling not loved. So, but
And one of the things I've noticed, I've said to Finn, you probably heard me say it on the codependency as well. Those of us that came in as extremely sensitive souls, and I believe all people in addiction like that, we're very sensitive, and so we're not met at our sensitivity.
right.
And that can you like, and I know for me, giving language around that's a whole depth of feeling of not really being known.
Yeah.
And so that gap in
Nowhere
the
to land.
heart, right? That there's this deep longing inside. I could feel in my own being this longing to be known and to be
Yeah.
received, right? And look at you, you manifested this beautiful being, your husband, who right there gets to know all of you, like all of you gets to be revealed.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I mean, I want that for myself to be revealed, but also being able to share that with another.
Yeah.
So I'm calling that
Been
in.
intense 20 years.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
We
Yeah.
we both had some opportunities to learn forgiveness even. I mean, it's amazing.
Oh, and yeah, and then to stay the course. If both people are willing, and 95% of it is showing up and being willing. And yes, you're going to have to face the distorted mind energy that comes in between, but knowing the truth and loving, haven't we talked about what you said before was Pagra, that third entity that holds the capacity for the highest truth to be revealed.
Right.
Even though I'm sure, and even with Duncan, there's times that like I said, the cognitive dissonance, I just want to go in that non-being mind energy.
I just want to do my
Blank.
power person thing on him.
For sure. So that's
And one of the first things that has to happen, because the whole culture is the game is blame and leaving. So it was one of the first things to face was, okay, so leaving's off the table. This is actually a commitment, and that's it. So that was a process that took some significant work.
yeah. So I was just looking up. I went and also in ChatGPT looking around. I found in Aramaic, or sorry, in later Semitic alchemical language, the Arabic says the word is the volatile spirit, which is Alru, Al-R-U with a line over it, H. And then Al-Kul is another one, which is A-L-K-K-H-L. Yeah. So,
One of the other things about Jeannie's book is that anybody who wants to support the work, and that'll be an email to be going out soon, we're working on that now, that they'll be able to buy them at a discount by the case, pass them out to friends, or sell them to friends, or enemies, or whoever.
they're all angels, I'm just saying.
There you go.
We're all in the dream. We get to have a happy dream or a nightmare, but it's a dream nonetheless. And I was saying, talking to a client the other day, I really believe this to be true, because we have a spirit, we have a soul, and then we have this human that we're in navigating the game, and how the spirit is always putting clues in the game to come on, like here, like for example, meeting Crispy, like, and when Terry sent that out, I got an instant, like it was so strong, just right into my head that I have to go reach out to this person. And so the clues and having the awareness and the presence of mind to act on those and follow up, because there's so many opportunities to wake up in the game. Look at all those orbs. I can't believe that. Oh my gosh, Jeannie. That's just
There was
cool.
like 5 of them went.
Did you
all
see
at
the
once.
blue? Did you notice the blue? Look at them just flying. You got to, there's some detail there they keep flying. Yeah, there's some information. There's packets of information there to be downloaded in your geometry. So have you ever asked them if they have what they have for you?
No, I haven't. I need to do that.
Just no, yeah, because it's and at certain times we're speaking the volume of them coming through. They surround you and they keep saying, yeah, I can feel it. They really want you. They want to be known by you. Even when I was saying the clues in the game, that's when they started to get really active there. They've got clues for you. And then to ask to what, and I don't know why they can't just come and take physical form. Just come here in a body. Like, what was the one guy that Course in Miracles? I forget his name, Gary somebody, where the beings actually showed up in his house.
Renard.
Yeah, Gary Renard. The beings just showed up and started dialoguing with him. Why don't we all get that?
Willingness.
Yeah, I guess it is. Is it willingness?
I think maybe.
Yeah, mine seem to come in these really,
And or it might just be hallucinations too.
yeah.
The mind generates.
Yeah, so you can eat yourself.
Mr. Terry, how are you today, sir?
Hello.
Hey, how you be?
Right now I'm moving along pretty smoothly, and enjoying life. Listening to you guys chatter, that's nice. Like to talk.
Yeah.
I experienced a lot of orbs when I went down to Brazil. I haven't really experienced them in a long time. And I keep missing them when you guys see them there because I'm usually driving or something. But it was pretty amazing, the ones that showed up when I was down on that little journey to Brazil, and the activity that was going on with that. I never had any of them talk to me, but they were there.
Well, you can't, and I want to show you guys a picture, which I've showed some people. So this was shown to me in 2018, but these are all sacred geometries. These are all beings. And so I don't know why they don't collapse into form in a certain way, but they're around us all the time, and they come in all different shapes, and so the little orbs around Jeannie and
yeah, that reminded me.
Yeah.
Excuse me for interrupting. The sacred geometry forms. Donald Hoffman, the physicist, and his lectures. I was really into his stuff last year, listening to everything he had. Well, he's in the he has that game theory and that kind of stuff, and natural selection is taken to this whole different level, and all this sort of fascinating work that he's done. And but in there, he says in the geometry they've gone deep enough like into the field to where there's these obelisks, and they look like that object that was on Planet of the Apes when the monkeys were all looking at that. Not the statue one, but the one where there was this. It was an obelisk. That's the way to describe it. It's like a rectangular pillar. He says there's all these tetrahedrons and obliques and stuff that are forming this information, somehow transferring this information to us. And it's like the way he put it was like, who ordered that? You know, it's like when they got down to that, and what was going on with it, and could prove it scientifically and mathematically. Their response was, who ordered that, and what does that mean? What's that all about? So there's much deeper layers of mystery than what we consciously are able to digest, or at least I'm not able to digest and understand it at this moment. It's just fascinating. It's nice to hook into that too, and when the world is in your face, like I had a pretty rough time this morning. I was all into the world, and the things that were being presented that were real and scary, and all that good stuff was going on. And it's like, wait a minute, let's just step back for a minute. And what breaks that for me is communication and reaching out with another human. That therapeutic value of one person helping another, supporting another, is just, it's without parallel. It's just beyond real true comprehension of this available. But like you were saying, what was mentioned before, it's like we have to be willing to step into that and open up and receive it.
That's huge. Like with that's a willingness, and also one of the things I learned, asking a question and curiosity. Like even, oh, I hear that you're here. Even in my, right now, I'm processing stuff in my physiology, which I can't seem to find. And I know I use the word can't, but I'm unable to identify what although
Haven't
I'm
found yet.
tracking it. It's there, and it's obviously not ready to be released. But the willingness
I had,
to
yeah,
sit with
I'm
it.
sorry.
It's okay. Just the willingness to sit with it.
There's a little lag on my phone. I seem to step on folks. Really, I'm gonna have to pause a little bit more. But I had a little session with this fellow. It was like almost an accidental, quote unquote session where he was talking about sales or something like this, and we were going into this little process, and it opened up something for me. And he offered. He says, "What if you were to just be curious about that?" And it just opened the whole door when you said that word curious. And it was like everything shifted when I changed my thoughts around,
Mm.
struggling or hardship or challenge to curious, being curious about a situation. And it was such an impactful thing that I got on my computer and I printed, I typed curious, 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 curious in about 5 different fonts and 26 size 26 letters and printed it off. And I've got it hanging on my wall as a reminder to stay curious and to come from that place of curiosity as opposed to and negativity. Yeah, that was a powerful one for me, and it's nice to be reminded of that.
And I also, sometimes when I'm facing incoherence in the field, I ask, what is this for? That's a curious question. What is this for? What am I not seeing, or what needs to be revealed? What's here to be revealed? And I just
What
want,
am I not breathing into?
yeah, and the not even, right? What am I denying in breath? Or what am I denying in breath?
Yeah.
And then this whole thing, which I said about the connection between negate being, to deny. And you missed this one, Terry. You mentioned the Mayan fella that the website. I was guided to go to that site, and I happened to have a session with the person with Crispy Matters, and absolutely amazing. I know his soul. We corresponded through email for a bit, and then we met yesterday, and I know him.
Oh,
Yeah, I know him.
yeah.
Like we know each other, and we're laughing because we both know when we're talking about it. It was absolutely magical. So that's following the clues when we get those hits to see what's going to be revealed.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. And we've talked about, and then also got to talk about the event that's coming up in Kauai. And he used the Mayan calendar. He went and looked it up, and it's really significant. And yeah, and he gave me some really deep insight. And I think I see him as an oracle, like in the Matrix. You go to the oracle. I was teasing him, saying, here you are with all this data. When you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear what he's offering, it is out of this world. Yeah, very powerful. So thank you, Terry.
Did you watch?
You brought it
Yeah,
into
did
my
you watch
field.
any of those videos?
Yeah, I watched a couple of his, only the ones I watched how he does the astrology, how he did the Mayan astrology that he
Mhm.
does. I watched that, and then also he has a process for forgiveness that he does, which is very
What
powerful. That yeah.
you reminded me of that because David and I got into that when I was out in Heartland, and there was a 2-hour video they had. We ordered it and played it. It was a DVD, and that Ian Ungold, the fellow that had
Yes.
did the rubbing on the Mayan, it was like a 2.5-hour presentation, and what it came down to was like, okay, these people were chronologically cataloging cycles of time in the billions of years and 13,000 year cycles and all this. And he says, okay, where did that information come from? And how did, it wasn't like they had supercomputers. They were tapping in to source energy to
Mhm.
understand and receive that information.
Yeah. And so he does, Crispy does exactly that. Takes he references the Mayan calendar linked to the DNA coding of an individual, also of humanity, because we go in 35,000 year cycles. And then he takes the information and puts you based on the Mayan calendar has what I think, believe 20 glyphs. So they pick their 20 ways to look at it with, I think, 13 tones, or it's the other way around, 13 glyphs and 20 tones. And then these combinations of what our structure is. It was very, so thank you, Terry, for bringing, that was so important. And I knew, and guess what? It was on, not by accident, my chart showed of February 17th that I actually met with him. We've been corresponding on email, but to actually have him in my physical presence and do this exchange, it was really, really important in the game. So I really am grateful for you to bring that back into my awareness. And I did, as I said to Michael and Jeannie and everybody on the call, I trained with Dr. Kellerman for back in about 5 years ago, learning about the Mayan, and was quite interested in this process. So whatever that was, planting seeds, the germination, and then for it to come back around again, meeting Crispy, who's very familiar. And yeah, he said to me I reckon as soon as we came on the call, we just were laughing, and he's so funny. So yeah, so we'll see what gets revealed. What's for all preparation for Kauai. Yeah. So
That's
thanks,
another
Terry.
piece that you just brought back up for me is the glyphs. William David Horden and my studies of his work around the Toltec and the I Ching combined interpretations and understandings. As I was going through the I Ching and doing daily castings and divination, and what I was led to recreate. They use glyphs in all their drawings in this beautiful set of drawings that are presented with the Toltec cards. And the little glyphs they're kind of like puffy spiral raindrops or something. They're all different little makes, and they're beautiful. So I think I'll pull that deck back down and work with that a little bit more.
It's coming up for a reason. Yeah.
All of this comes right back down to Dr. Ryce's work, and I just thought he was like the man when I first met him. I still think he's the man,
Yes,
but
man.
I was so profoundly blown away. It's like this information that this fellow has put together in the wagon book. That's why I've been through it 14 times. It's like it's important to impress that under my mind constantly and continuously, that I was like, wow. I remember when my jaw dropped over when he explained to me for the first time. I really understood the wave and particle collapse thing. I was trying to nominate him for a Nobel Prize. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Right.
Amazing. I mean, and even the characters that we meet, like Ian, who brought the Mayan calendar in, and also Dr. Richard, not Dr. Richard Rudd, who has the gene keys, which is based on the I Ching, the 64 combinations of hologenetic profiling. Absolutely outstanding. We're all in the same soul family, because it's, the fact that it's in our awareness. I study the gene keys also. So yeah, getting access. These are all components to bring us home, and related. Richard Rudd is very familiar as well to me. So it just walking ourselves home one step at a time, and following the clues. That's, for me, that's the key. Even though I was saying to Crispy yesterday, even though my human resists, like I'm going back to Kauai next week, and even though my human resists, I do it anyway. That's one thing I'm grateful for. That there's fear that comes up, all the human stuff, and I do it anyway and trust the process. And then, of course, magic is revealed.
Absolutely.
When you take your next breath and do your next worksheet, right?
Yes. I'm so thankful for those worksheets. I've been doing quite a few, lots of, and some of it, like, I don't know if you guys, well, I'm sure you do experience this, but sometimes they just slip by the non-being mind. Like, you're not aware of it. It just slips by the conscious mind, and then it goes underground. And so I really have worksheets. The minute I feel any twinge, I make a note to come back and do a worksheet. And sometimes those little twinges have opened up something so big, but it slips by my conscious mind. It might just be a slight irritation in the moment. Like last night, I was on a group call with my consciousness class and another group I'm in, and I wanted to work. And then the facilitator, because no one was working, And then she said it felt it wasn't the right moment to do this particular process we were going to do. And oh yeah, I felt slighted. I could feel it. Just, oh, so I had to go. I felt rejected. All the little girl stuff, not important, being cast aside. And the
Well, you look at
facilitator, yeah,
that idea from the course that the slightest irritation covers the deepest rage.
that's so true. So
And,
true.
you know, one of the things that, we do when we do the why workshop is we'll invite people to do worksheets and we suggest, start with the small issues.
Yeah.
But it's really kind of a trick because there really are no small issues. So, you look at the number of quote unquote religions on the planet that use beads. And I think the beads, whether it's the rosary or the
Mala?
Mayan bead or the Eastern traditions where they're always have their fingers on a bead, it's a symbol of going down issue by issue by issue into the unconscious. And you look at like the Catholic Rosary, and you get, if you're not familiar with it, there are 10 minor prayers and then a major prayer, 10 minor prayers, a major prayer, 10, 10, 10. You do 50 of them a day, and then you come to, the big one. And it's symbolic. I think it's a symbolic way of dropping into the unconscious and represented physically by literally moving from bead to bead.
Yeah.
The way to
Perfect sense.
help to take us in.
Yeah, absolutely perfect sense. So I'm really being mindful of the little ones. And then if I don't have sheets with me in the moment, I just make a note to come back and process it later. And yeah, some of the little ones have taken me to some really deep, very deep stuff. So,
Understood.
mhm.
So, Miss Jeannie, we've got an intermission here. Why don't you tell us about what it's going to look like if somebody wants to order a case of books? So we get this on tape, and then it'll be on the YouTube channel. So if anybody's tapping in, they'll know how to or what to do. Order cases of your book.
Hold on, I'm bringing up. So what I have got in okay, I'm unmuted. I thought I hadn't unmuted.
You are.
Yeah. So what I've got so far in the email that I'm getting ready to send out is, shoot, come on.
There's going to be 35 books in a case, right? Is that correct?
Unless they change it, he said there'd be 32.
32, pardon me.
Yeah, I guess because of the size of their box and the size of the book, I'm not sure. So there's, golly, my computer's running slow. So for book study, small groups, healing circles, church groups, or classrooms, or whatever, a case of 32 would be at 50% off per book plus shipping. And I'm not sure what the shipping on that size case is yet.
It'll basically be $10 a book. So 320 if you can buy a case whether they want it for a group study or just to give them away. I know that's with my book. A lot of why is this happening to me again is out there because people bought cases of them and spread them around. So
and a couple of people have said that they wanted to do like a book study group and go through it. And it does have some explicit content in it. So, a couple of teachers we ran into the other night when we went out for Valentine's dinner, they were asking what age group, and I'm sure what they were getting ready to do was to invite me to come and be like an author. And I'm like, no, I don't think it's appropriate for the school.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, there's already been one lady who said that she wanted to do a book study with it. So that'll be an opportunity then that she can, either give them away or resell them, at the full price to them or whatever. And for the pre-orders I had done for $25, they're going to sell for $19.99 on BookBaby and Amazon and $9.99 for the ebook. But, and of course, if someone has Amazon Prime, there's no shipping, but my mind just went blank.
or single books.
Yeah. And originally I had said $25 a book and I would sign it and mail it to the people. And there were a lot of people that did that to support the initial production and get going and everything. And so in the newsletter, though, I'm stating for a signed book, $30 a book, because I know it's going to cost me more than $5 to ship it out. So, but anyway, that's where we are at it. And as soon as I'm waiting on them to email me back, and they'll give me like links to the different websites where it can be, purchased, and of course on our own website. And so all of that'll be included in the email that goes out too. So people can just do a click and order. So I'm excited.
That's what's happening.
Yeah. We have about 18 minutes. Anybody else have anything? I know Kathy can't talk on hers, but if you have a question or something, if you have the ability to write in the chat room, you can ask your questions there.
And I don't know where everybody is the last couple of days. Yesterday we actually didn't do a show. We started out and Susan Bingham was here. Kathy did show up. And so we just let it go. Jeannie was in the middle of finishing off the book to get it off to the press. And we had Lincoln here and lots on our plate. So we let yesterday's show go.
Okay.
And at this point, it feels like, we've been covering or talking about the healing through relationships, but it seems without the group here to interact with, that maybe we just will let that go for today.
We have a codependence class tonight for those that are in that.
7 p.m. Eastern time.
And I can't believe, that's gone. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how many iterations I've become since saying yes. Let's put the software I was at August 1st to the software I am now. Upgrading minute by minute, which is very exciting.
Well, if no one else has anything else in their mind, I'm complete.
Okay. See you guys tonight.
All right.
Can't wait
Thanks
to
for being
hear
there. We'll
from-
see you at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear when Jeannie connects to those orbs and see what information they have for
I'll
her.
do that.
Yeah, because they're like, okay, we're ready. We are so ready. So, okay, you guys,
Thanks,
thanks so much.
everybody.
I'd have a blessed one.